Mom, please, let me go. I want to go to school.
I know you want to study, but we sold all the wheat we needed for spring rations and only got $15. The tuition is $50. We're still far too short. Sigh. Your uncle's family can barely feed themselves. They lent us $2. Your aunt scraped together $3. Every family has its own troubles.
Dad, Mom, I'll go to school and plead. We'll pay tuition after you enroll. Let's register.
Sweetheart, we haven't done right by you. You've suffered because of us.
Dad, don't say that. As long as I can enroll and get to school, I'll figure something out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you.
It's okay, don't be nervous. You're in such a rush, you here to enroll? Wipe sweat. It's hot. Registration is on the first floor of the teaching building, first room on the left. Go on.
Thank you.
You're here to enroll too?
Name. Teacher. My name is Su Linshi. Tuition and books come to 50 yuan. Child, 20 yuan. You're 30 short. Come back to enroll when you have it all. Teacher, I live in the Qingyan Mountains. I walked dozens of miles here. I want to study. Can I write an IOU? I promise I'll pay it back. Child, I understand, but rules are rules. We don't accept IOUs. The rest. After the fall harvest, I'll sell everything if I have to and make up the difference. Let me enroll. There are people waiting behind you.
Teacher, I'll pay the rest of her tuition.
You know each other? You can pay for her. What's your relationship?
We know each other now, don't we?
All right, you're registered. Next student. Hi, I'm Su Linshi. What's your name?
I'm Gu Xiangdong.
Gu Xiaodong. Don't worry, I'll pay you back.
No, just study hard at school from now on. Oh, right. Your seat is right in front of mine.
36 years later.
Do you remember Gu Xiangdong, genius heartthrob from high school? I heard he got divorced a few years back, left with nothing, and now he runs a stall at the market selling homemade pickles while raising his daughter alone.
Which market?
Old classmate. You're a heavy industry tycoon worth 1.8 billion now. Why are you thinking about a pickle seller, Ms. Su?
She's an entrepreneur now, not like us. She wants to help a classmate. Pan Hong, I'm asking you one last time. Where is he?
I think he's at the Changqing market in the south of town. I only heard it from one of our suppliers.
Eat. Something came up at the company. Have to go.
Hey, Linshi.
Miss Su, what's wrong?
Find someone, now. Gu Xiangdong, Qingyan High, class of 1985. At a stall in Chongqing Market.
His full background and all his connections.
Get all information on my desk before midnight. Get on it.
Yes, Miss Su.
Su Linshi, you got up early again to fill my ink and wipe my desk at school? You take good care of me every day. You're even more thoughtful than my mom. Wow, smells amazing.
Here, fresh out of the oven. It's a little hot. Try some of our mountain treats.
Sweet and soft. So good.
Wrapped in cabbage leaves, so it's clean.
Others' food was black and smelled like coal smoke. How come your flatbreads are golden and crispy? No ash on them. How do you do it?
Wrap them in a few layers of fresh leaves, then bury them in warm stove ash and let them heat slowly. My mom taught me.
My dad's workplace gave these as meeting prizes. Extras would collect dust, take it and practice writing. Su
Don't believe him. That pen was the most expensive at the county's new China store. Gu Shandong ate dried salted vegetables for 3 months to buy it, he saved every last bit.
Linshi.
Your mom worked in the fields in the rain. Her cold turned into pneumonia, and she passed out today. The doctor says she must go to the town hospital. Otherwise, she may not make it. But we can't even afford the registration fee. Linksy, there's no one left to work the fields. And your mom's illness is a bottomless pit. Why don't you put school on hold for now? Come back and help out. You can take the college entrance exam next year.
No.
She has to take the exam.
Uncle. 300 yuan. Take auntie to the county hospital, quick.
Kid, this is too much. Our family could never pay it back.
Su Linshi, I borrowed this money from every relative I could find. If you dare skip the college entrance exam today, I, Gu Xiangdong, will never acknowledge you again.
Linksy,
Shandong, just to scrape together the medical bills. He ran through the rain all day. You mustn't let him down after all he's done. Shandong. I can't take this. I still haven't paid back the 300 yuan you lent me.
Take it. Things are expensive in provincial capital. This is for travel expenses.
Gu Shandong, I'll pay you back someday, with interest.
You don't have to. If you really want to repay me, then make something of yourself. Go help other kids who can't afford school. Su Linshi, study hard in college. Take care.
During those college years, we stayed in touch by letter. But later, all were busy making a living. Communication was limited, and we gradually lost touch.
Early 1990s. I went back to my hometown to look for him.
Xiandong, he moved away ago. I heard he married a woman named Wan Yanmei. The two of them went south to start a business.
Miss Sue, it's a long story.
Mr. Gu was set up by ex-wife back then.
Wan Yanmei plotted it all.
She framed him.
Tell us now. Don't leave out a single detail.
Miss Sue, Mr. Gu got married in 1991. His ex-wife was Wan Yanmei. They ran an appliance business in the south together. They built it from nothing.
What does it mean to end up in the red? It means on paper, the company wasn't worth a dime and owed suppliers a huge amount in bad debt. When the court granted the divorce,
Mr. Sheng
was forced to leave empty-handed, got nothing and was saddled with 300,000 in fake debt for Wan Yanmei. So he let that woman set him up? Didn't he hire a lawyer?
He did.
His accounts were frozen. He couldn't afford living expenses. He could only hire the cheapest ordinary lawyer.
Wan Yanmei.
She'd been planning it all along. She spent a fortune on a 4-person elite legal team. They all specialized in property disputes. Mr. Gu had no chance of fighting back. And Wan Yanmei was ruthless. What happened next? Mr. Gu took his daughter back to the provincial capital. He wanted to return to his former work as a channel manager for an appliance company or work at a repair shop as a technician. But Wan Yanmei was a major appliance distributor in the province. She made it known that wherever Mr. Gu applied, people kept setting him up.
Later,
Mr. Xiangdong found out Wan Yanmei was behind it all. She warned everyone in the provincial capital's appliance business she'd make sure Gu Xiangdong never got back on his feet. So he wouldn't go around talking.
Mr. Shandong wasn't educated either. For years in high school, Mr. Shandong covered Gui's tuition and living expenses, making braised snacks and running street stall. After years of bending over to haul goods,
He developed severe lumbar strain. The pain is so bad, I can't get out of bed. And there's
Wan Yanmei's Yanmei Appliance Group today.
was founded by her and Mr. Xiang.
Back then,
From dawn till dark to
it was a husband and wife business. Now it brings in over 800 million a year.
he left with nothing. That woman walked away with over 800 million.
Yes, Ms. Lin Chi.
Call Qin Mingyuan, the top lawyer. Tell him to fly here tonight, right away.
Qin Mingyuan? The best IPO lawyer in the province?
Yes. Also notify finance. Get 5 million in working capital ready overnight, on standby. Back in 1985, he spent a day in rain raising $300 to save my life. He ran all day in the rain without blinking an eye. And now he's been pushed this far. If I pretend I don't know, what kind of person would I be?
Understood, Miss Su. I'll call lawyer Qin right now.
One more thing. Pick me up at 5 tomorrow morning. Don't take the Rolls-Royce. It stands out too much. Take the black Audi A6. Hello,
Miss Su, car is downstairs.
I'm coming down.
Traditional braised meats, fresh out of the pot. Take your time picking.
Boss, braised beef shank.
Coming right up. Would you like it sliced thin or thick? Family brine recipe passed down for generations. No industrial additives. Thick cuts taste the best.
Thick cut.
Su Lin Chi.
Xiangdong, it's me.
H, how did you find me here?
I came to see you.
What do you want with me? I've got nothing left for you to want.
Xiangdong, who's this? She's classy. An old classmate?
Ms. Zhang, get back to work. How did you find me here?
Someone mentioned you at last night's class reunion.
Who was it? Pan Hong. He's pretty well informed.
Xiangdong.
Yeah?
All these.
Don't talk about that. What about you? How have you been all these years?
I'm doing okay.
Lao Gu, you look pretty sharp. Struck it rich? I came to see you.
Xiangdong, free at noon? Let me treat you to lunch.
No, noon, peak time for deli meats and pickles. I can't leave.
Then how about tonight?
I have to go home and cook for
Your daughter?
Yeah, she's in her second year of
Bring her along.
Su Lin Chi.
What do you want with me? Nothing. I wanted to see you. It's been 36 years.
All right. Meet me at the alley behind the market. Don't pick a restaurant.
Okay.
Hey, boss, are today's beef shank and braised meat fresh?
Ms. Wang, I got up at 4 this morning to simmer our recipe broth.
How much?
Ms. Wang, as always, 45 total.
How come it went up $2?
Raw beef, stall fees, and spices went up.
TCA, it's just braised meat and you're raising prices? Anyone would think you're selling gold.
You should head back first. It's the busy time. I've got work to do. Lin Chi. I'm glad you came to see me. It makes me happy.
President Su, are you okay?
Xiao Li, dig into Wan Yanmei.
Yes.
Her appliance group's assets, connections, who's with her now, and her accomplice brother. Dig up everything. Also, find Gu Xiangdong's daughter Gu Yi's 11th grade school. Check her tuition status and school performance. I want results.
Understood.
We haven't seen each other in 36 years. Eat more.
Do you remember that winter when you warmed corn cakes on a coal stove? They were brown. Not a speck of coal dust on them. You were the only one in class who could make them that good.
Wrap it in several layers of cabbage leaves, bury it in warm stove ashes, and let it cook slowly. My mom taught me that. Xiangdong, tell me the truth. What are the conditions like where you live now?
Pretty good. It's okay.
Dad and Sue, the old house leaks when it rains. Last month, a pipe burst. The place was flooded. The landlord said it couldn't be fixed and told us to make do.
This is grown-up business. Don't interrupt.
Xiangdong, listen to me.
Lingqi, you didn't come here today just to catch up, did you? Have you heard about what happened to me?
I have.
What did you hear?
Wan Yanmei.
You don't need to get involved. This is my own business. I can handle it myself.
Handle it yourself? You've been carrying this for over 10 years. What has it gotten you?
Aunt Sue, if you really want to help my dad, please help him. He's just too stubborn and proud. Every night, he's in pain and can't sleep. He sighs secretly, thinking I don't know.
Gui, what nonsense are you talking about?
I'm telling the truth. Auntie, last month he was simmering broth at the stall. His back hurt so much he couldn't stand straight, and he collapsed. It took him ages to get back up. Did you go to the hospital? You didn't dare because you couldn't even afford an x-ray.
Lingqi.
Don't listen to kids' nonsense. I really don't need your help. Those $30 in tuition you paid for me back then are long in the past.
And now you're bringing up money? In 1985, when you paid my 30 yuan tuition, did you mention money? When you gave me that hero fountain pen you saved up for, mention money? Before the college entrance exam, you braved the storm and ran to our You brought 300 yuan to family. You said you didn't need me to pay you back, and that once I succeeded. I should help other kids who couldn't afford school. All these years, I, Su Lingqi, have personally donated several million yearly to poor student funds. I did it. What about you? You've ended up like this. How can I pretend I don't know? Xiangdong, I'm not here to do you a favor. I'm here to repay a debt, the kindness you showed me. I can't repay it in this lifetime, but at least let me help you get back. What's yours, with interest?
How? Wan Yanmei has roots in the provincial capital. Lawyers, connections. I can't compete with her at all.
You couldn't before.
Even now, I still can't compare. After all these years. She became vice president of the Provincial Entrepreneurs Association last year.
Vice president position was recommended to me by the industry association. I turned it down.
Lingqi, what line of work are you in now?
Ocean shipping and logistics. Top 3 in the country.
Miss Su, Qin Mingyuan, a top corporate lawyer, is here. These are what you asked for from Wan Yanmei. The fake account records.
This is evidence that Wan Yanmei moved your company's assets back then. Someone looked into it all afternoon. Her books were full of holes. Hire a top lawyer and sue again, we've got at least a 70% chance.
Su Lingqi. I can't afford a good lawyer. I can barely cover living expenses.
Qin Mingyuan is a partner at a top provincial law firm, specializing in property disputes. He'll be here tomorrow. Don't worry about fees.
Su Lingqi. That'll cost a fortune. He's a top lawyer.
Back then, did you even blink at the 30 yuan tuition or the 300 yuan that saved my life?
You're still the same as 30 years ago. Stubborn as ever.
So are you.
I understand.
Thank you, Auntie Sue. Thanks for coming, Lawyer Qin. Miss Sue is upstairs.
Did you bring the case files?
It was sorted out this afternoon.
It's all here.
Miss Sue.
Don't worry, Mr. Gu.
We've got a strong case here.
How Won Yenmei moved her assets back then.
Was actually very sloppy.
There are discrepancies in the accounts. Evidence is in two places. First, Won Yenmei had her brother register a shell trading company to hold her assets. Second, the fixed asset appraisal report from your appliance group back then.
Attorney Cheen. If we file again, how much could we recover at most?
Based on the asset size then, you should have received at least 300 to 400 million. Plus the appreciation those assets have gained over the years. Getting over 500 million for you is not impossible.
500 million?
Attorney Cheen, something else. After Mr. Gu Xiaodong's divorce, Won Yenmei targeted him through her connections for over a decade. Industry blacklisting and pressure left him no choice but sell braised meats. If we prove Won Yenmei was behind it, can we hold her accountable for that too?
Of course. If we can find witnesses and evidence to prove it was deliberate commercial persecution, we can also seek substantial damages for emotional distress.
Su Linqi. I really don't know how to thank you.
No need to thank me. Just make me your homemade braised beef shank when we win this case.
Okay, I'll make it myself. Linqi, there's something I need to tell you. Pan Hong called me a couple of days ago. He wasn't concerned about me at all. He tried to drag me down for someone else.
What business ties does Pan Hong have with Won Yenmei?
Pan Hong's trading company is a distributor for Won Yenmei's appliance group. They rely on Won Yenmei's orders. That's how they stay afloat. At the reunion, Won Yenmei had Pan Hong mention me before you. A deliberate test. If even you, her classmate worth 1.8 billion, don't care about me, Won Yenmei will be completely at ease. Then she'll crush me for good, and I'll never get back on my feet. Linqi, if you step in and represent me now, Won Yenmei will definitely target you. She's insanely selfish and ruthless. She's got plenty of dirty tricks.
Those tricks of hers are nothing in front of me, Su Linqi.
Oh, Miss Su, at the reunion that day.
Why did you suddenly leave?
Everyone's asking about you. They said you have to treat us to a gathering sometime.
Pan Hong, tell me the truth. At the reunion, you brought up Gu Xiaodong. Who sent you?
Miss Su, what do you mean? I just had too much to drink. I just mentioned it in passing.
Trading company survives on Won Yenmei's appliance group contracts. Do you think Su Linqi is blind? That I couldn't find out?
Miss Su, please don't overthink it. Checking in on an old classmate.
You're in the provincial capital doing well. He sold braised food at the market before dawn for years. Have you visited him once? Pan Hong, one last time. Won Yenmei asked about Gu Xiaodong?
Yes, Ms. Wan told me to ask. She just wanted to know how Lao Gu was doing, whether he'd hired a lawyer, or if some big shot was backing him.
So what did you tell her?
I hadn't replied. You left that day.
Reply to her now. Tell her Gu Xiaodong has people backing him. Even if the sky falls, someone will hold it up. That person is Su Linqi. Tell Won Yenmei to think carefully about whether she's got what it takes to take me on.
Are you Su Linqi from Far Ocean Group? I'm Won Yenmei from Yenmei Appliances. I've heard of you. I'm straightforward. I don't want to be misunderstood. I want to speak with you directly. I hear you've been getting close to my ex-husband, Gu Xiaodong. If he said anything nasty about me, please don't take it to heart. He just can't stand seeing me do well.
I've never heard of you. Get to the point.
Our divorce case was crystal clear back then.
The court already ruled on it. When the court made its ruling back then, you and your brother cooked up 2 sets of fake books.
Miss Su, you can't just say that. That's slander.
Whether it's slander or not, we'll settle it in court.
Miss Su, what do you mean by this? We've got no beef. Why go against me for some broke guy selling braised snacks?
Miss Su, the pretrial asset preservation order was approved. The court froze 10 million in Won Yenmei's appliance group account.
Dad, look. Won Yenmei's company account has been frozen by the court.
Linchi, Wan Yanmei definitely won't let this go. She acts polite apparently when doing business, but she's ruthless behind the scenes.
Xiangdong, focus on simmering old brine and taking care of Yi. Leave everything else to me.
You're still as stubborn as you were back then.
So are you.
Is this Miss Su Linchi? Chendahua, Provincial Chamber of Commerce. If you're free this afternoon, let me buy you some tea. We can get acquainted.
Sure. 3 this afternoon. Chairman Chen, you pick the place. Chairman Chen. When did you get so close to Wan Yanmei?
Miss Su Linchi, we're all business colleagues. Why push Ms. One into a corner over an old story and make things ugly for everyone?
Wan Yanmei sent you to mediate. What did she offer? Was it access to that big appliance mall in the south of town, or some other cut of the profits? Go tell Wan Yanmei that I have all the proof she falsified the books and stole her ex-husband's share of their joint property. She can't dodge lawsuit. No one can stop me. Chairman Chen, you're a prominent figure in the provincial capital. Attorney Chen, settlement is impossible. File the lawsuit formally. And add one more charge. Ask the court to investigate the real assets of all companies linked to Wan Yanmei. Don't miss a single.
Ms. Linchi, Wan Yanmei's appliance group has expanded over a decade. Its network is complex. This investigation will be a massive undertaking.
I'm not afraid. How many auditors and investigators do you need? Linchi Group will provide them, no expense spared.
Hello? Linchi.
It's Guixiang. There's something urgent I need to tell you. Go ahead.
Wan Yanmei had Pan Hong contact some people yesterday.
Our high school classmates want to form a mediation group and go to the provincial capital to persuade you to drop the lawsuit.
Pan Hong has already
Found 7 or 8 people. They'll head to the provincial capital the day after tomorrow, using old school ties as an
to pressure you about this.
How did you find out? Pan Hong came to me too. He even offered to cover my travel costs, but I told him off. Why? Because back then, Xiangdong helped me too. During senior year, I got acute appendicitis, was hospitalized. I fell behind by a month. I cried in my hospital bed every day.
It was Gu Xiangdong.
Every day after school, he'd run 2 miles to the hospital with every key point from class. Word for word, and help me catch up on notes. For a whole month. He never missed a single day. Xiangdong is a gentleman to his core. He's good to everyone but himself.
Linchi. You have to get him the justice he deserves.
Guixiang, thank you for telling me all this.
Don't mention it. I can't stand Pan Hong and those money-grubbing scumbags.
Shaoli.
Yes.
Look into Pan Hong's alumni mediation group, now. Find out each one's ties to Wan Yanmei's interests.
Understood. Miss Su, 7 make a living off Wan Yanmei's home appliance supply chain. Besides Pan Hong, the leader is Sun Dawei, Wan Yanmei's key distributor in the southern market. He takes tens of millions from Wan Yanmei every year.
A bunch of greedy, self-serving clowns. Sure. Let them come.
Miss Su, Pan Hong has set up a trap. Are you going?
Since Wan Yanmei went to all this trouble to bring along all those barking dogs he keeps, how could I not see this little circus for myself?
Yes, Miss Su.
Well, the Iron Lady of the business world is here, Lin Shi. We put our business on hold and flew in from all over just to catch up with you. Come on, have a seat. Lin Shi, let me introduce you. This is Ms. Wan. You two have spoken on the phone. We're all alumni of Qingyan High School. We're all in business. Harmony brings prosperity. No knot can't be untied.
Right? Miss Sue, I've heard about you. There was a misunderstanding on the phone. We both had tempers, so we hung up after a few words. With our old classmates here as witnesses, let's talk face to face and speak openly. Let's clear up this misunderstanding.
Wan Yanmei went to such trouble to set this up. How much did she pay you?
Lin Shi, listen to you, making it sound so distant. What PR fees? We're just old classmates getting together.
Pan Hong, if you're going to be a dog, act like one. Your master hasn't spoken, so shut your mouth. Go on. What do you want to talk about?
President Lin Shi. We're all people running major companies and doing big things. Yet for Gu Shandong, that hopeless piece of trash, you used your $100 billion group's legal resources to fight this lawsuit. There's no need. When we signed divorce agreement, he willingly walked away with nothing in writing. The court ruled according to legal procedure. Dragging up matters from over 10 years ago will not only hurt goodwill among us alumni, but if this blows up, it'll affect both companies' stock prices and reputations. Why bother?
When he signed it back then, did he know that you and your idiot brother were keeping 2 sets of books behind his back?
What fake accounts? Miss Su Lin Shi, I respect your business standing, but you can be held legally liable for saying things like that.
The registration records for that Yanmei trading shell company you set up to launder money are under your name. They list your own brother, Wan Jiqiang. Are you saying you knew nothing about it? Of the 4 million in startup capital that shell company actually received, a full 2 million was secretly transferred from Gu Xiaodong's personal account while he was away on business.
That was a loan.
A loan? In the documents you submitted to the divorce court, you kept calling it a loan, but my lawyer went through every file. There wasn't a loan agreement or financial approval record.
President Lin Shi, your business investigation team is impressive.
That's not all. Back then, your appliance group had 3 major warehouse, store, and property assets with the most land. You bribed the appraisal value reported to the court was 8 million. But that year, you used those so-called bad assets as collateral for a bank loan. The bank's appraisal came in at 36 million. Are you willing to explain where tens of millions in missing assets went? In court. And have a proper discussion with the judge about how they vanished?
Miss Sue, we both know the game. Don't play dumb with me. Why go to this trouble? For a washed-up nobody like her? As long as you're willing to drop the lawsuit, we can negotiate the terms.
He's not useless. He saved my life. In 1985, I was poor, barely able to afford food, when I couldn't pay the $30 tuition and was about to be kicked out. He emptied his savings to cover it for me. And you? You married him. You got rich off the money he saved fixing appliances day and night. Then the company grew bigger. You cheated, used some pretty boy to cook the books, and left him with nothing. After the divorce, you still wouldn't leave him alone. You used your connections to blacklist him, even stopping him from finding a job at another appliance store just to get by. You forced a proud boss like him to sell braised meat at the market, getting chased off by city inspectors. Before my entrance exams, my mom's pneumonia worsened. She was at death's door. He ran through pouring rain, going to relatives in town. He brought family 300 yuan to save her life. To you, 300 yuan might not buy a bag. But back then, it was my family's lifeline. It's why I, Su Lingqi, stand here today with a fortune worth billions. Ask yourself, has a dog eaten your conscience? Don't push your luck.
I set this up today out of respect. He was weak, useless. Business is war. I built the company and kicked out. Was I wrong?
All those things you did behind his back, did you think you could hide them forever?
Don't think money scares me. Even a dragon can't beat the snake. I've been established here for years.
Lay a hand on me, Wan Yanmei, and everyone here. Listen, Hi, Su Lingxi, make this clear, even if it costs everything, I'll fight this lawsuit to the end. Anyone who stands up for her is making an enemy of the Lingxi group. I'll make sure they die without a grave. Pan Hong. 80% of your shell trading company's profits are from reselling Wan Yanmei's defective stock, don't they? And yet you're sitting here, shamelessly talking about old school ties. Why not just admit you're here to protect your boss's livelihood? Sun Dawei. That knockoff factory you run down south, if Wan Yanmei weren't slipping you those appliance parts orders, you'd be shutting down and laying off workers next month, wouldn't you? You all came here on the strength of old school ties. Are you really here to settle this conflict, or to take the other side and mediate for them?
Lingxi, Miss Su, I'm sorry, Gu Xiangdong. I was dragged here by Pan Hong to make up the numbers. This is a fight between giants. Small fry can't get involved. Emergency at the factory. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving too. I don't dare get mixed up in this. Su Lingxi, you're insane. You'd go to war with me in business over a nobody?
I'll say this one last time. I'm not out to get you. You've done evil, and heaven won't forgive you. It's time to pay debts, Prince.
I've fought my way through the home appliance industry for 20 years. I've dealt with good side and underworld. Wan Yanmei has paid respects at every dock. You think a weak woman like me got this far with only the tricks you see in public? Believe me, I can make it impossible for you to take a single step in this city.
Whatever dirty tricks you've got, bring them on. Su Lingxi, in ocean shipping for decades. I've weathered storms from multinational tycoons like they were nothing more than a shower. You think I'd be scared of some local snake thrashing around in a filthy ditch like you?
Miss Su, something terrible has happened. A bombshell exploded online last night. Within hours, hundreds of marketing accounts appeared online, all posting the same scripted articles. They even included those secretly taken photos of you meeting Mr. Gu at the market that day. They're even painting Mr. Gu as the ultimate scumbag, kept by you for years while abandoning his wife and daughter.
That's Wan Yanmei's first desperate move, cornered like a rat. Truly as vile as it gets.
Miss Su, public opinion is spreading fast. The group's PR department is working to suppress trending topics. Wan Yan, she's trying to drown you and Mr. Gu in this mud.
Don't suppress the trending topics. If she wants to play public opinion game, then I'll play big with him. The bigger this fire burns, the better.
Lingxi. Have you seen all that filth online?
I have.
I'm sorry, Lingxi. I dragged you into this. They can say what they want about me. I'm already useless. But what gives them the right to spread lies about you? You're a respected businesswoman, and I ruined your reputation.
Xiangdong, listen to me. Don't blame yourself, and don't read those trashy comments. This is Wan Yanmei's last desperate move. I'll make the whole province see who has no shame.
Ms. Lingxi, regarding online rumors that you and Mr. Xiangdong are in an improper kept relationship, and that you may have interfered with his family, how do you respond?
No exchange of power for sex, and no shameful scandal. I'm standing here today to tell just one story. Spring, 1985. I was born poor. I couldn't afford the 50 yuan tuition. I almost lost my chance to go to school forever. My classmate, Gu Xiangdong, emptied out every penny he'd saved for 2 years to cover my tuition. Before the college entrance exam, my mother was on the verge of death. That boy braved the storm and ran all over town to bring my family 300 yuan to save her life. 36 years have passed. He's never asked me for a cent in return. Now, my benefactor has been set up and framed. He was swindled out of family fortune and crushed until he had to sell braised food. As an old classmate who owes him so much, isn't it only right that I use every resource of the Su group to help him win justice in court? Isn't that only natural?
Ms. Su, what about those coordinated smear campaigns online?
Rumors spread, but clearing them takes many steps. But my legs are long enough, and I run faster than anyone. Those rats hiding in the gutter, buying fake accounts, I've had legal collect all the evidence. See you in court.
Miss Sue, public opinion has turned around. Our press conference is trending online. Everyone is praising the incredible friendship between you and Mr. Gu. And we didn't have to do anything. Netizens have dug up Won Yenmei's dirty history, her love scandals. Her dirty secrets were exposed, how she and her brother cooked the books to leave Mr. Shangdong penniless. Even how she used the same trick to ruin her first husband came out.
Su Linshi, bitch, what did you do online? Won't you stop until you drive me to death?
You want me to stop? Won Yenmei, the moment you chose to smear my benefactor, you should have known there'd be no turning back. Take down those shady trending posts first. We'll settle the rest in court.
Lin Shi. The place was trashed.
You and Yi weren't hurt. Did you call the police? Xiangdong, listen, you and Yi aren't going back to that rental dump tonight. I had Shaoli book a top-floor suite at a 5-star hotel downtown. Go there now.
They're fine. The stall was their target. The police are checking the intersection cameras. Lin Shi, we don't need some fancy hotel. Covered in grease. Wouldn't fit in there.
We just need somewhere to crash for the night. Gu Xiangdong, Won Yenmei has lost it. This isn't a business lawsuit anymore. This is a crime. She'd do anything for money. Shaoli, contact an executive security firm in the province. Send 2 bodyguard teams, 24/7. Protect Gu Xiangdong and Yi always. Don't let a fly through. Send footage and photos from the smashed booth to lawyer Qin Mingyuan. Ask if we can add this organized crime charge to the lawsuit. I want Won Yenmei crushed.
Understood. Get on it now. Miss Sue, we've caught everyone who wrecked the booth. Those thugs confessed the minute they got to the station. We followed the trail, and the transfer account and middleman both clearly point to Won Yenmei's younger brother, Won Jiqiang.
Qin Mingyuan.
This is a godsend. He submitted the evidence of her gang-related crimes to the court and police overnight. Because of how serious it is, the court not only restricted Won Yenmei's spending early, but also issued a strict travel ban. She can't escape now.
Nice work. Won Yenmei, you've crossed the line. Wash your neck. See you in court.
Su Lin Shi, I don't feel right staying here. This place costs thousands a day, and there are bodyguards too. I really feel bad spending your money.
What kind of money is this? Those 30 and 300 yuan gave me life. Adjusted for inflation today. Plus compound interest at a loan shark rate, and the hero pen you bought me. I probably owe you more than everything I own.
You really know how to do the math. You're just too stubborn.
I know. You've said those 3 words 180 times already.
Lin Shi. There's something I haven't told you in over 30 years.
What is it?
Back then, when we registered, I paid your tuition. It wasn't entirely out of pity. On the first day of school, I stood in the registration line and watched you. You wore rough, patched clothes. Your pant legs were tied with straw rope. You clutched a handful of incomplete change. The teachers and people around you looked down on you and mocked you, but you stood there with your back straight, not a trace of humility in your eyes, no surrender. Then, I thought, this girl has such an unyielding spirit. One day, she'd become someone truly remarkable.
You fool. If only you told me this 30 years ago. That'd be nice. If you'd told me sooner, we wouldn't have missed our lives together.
There's no such thing as too late. 36 years later, seeing become such an important person. And getting to see you again is already enough.
Nervous?
A little. After all, she's been putting me down for so many years.
Don't be afraid. Justice is on our side. Today, we'll make her pay her debt to you. Get it back with interest.
Court is now in session.
Your Honor,
We believe this case has no grounds for trial. The divorce settlement was signed and accepted by both parties. The ruling has long been final. The plaintiff is reviving an old case to extort our client. Struggling financially, she's using absurd excuses to reopen it and extort.
Your Honor. We are not reopening this case without cause. We have newly confirmed evidence of extremely serious commercial fraud. Please look at the screen. These are transaction records of Yanmei Trading, a shell company owned by the defendant and held in her brother Wan Jiqiang's name. The evidence is conclusive. That year, a huge sum of 2 million was taken while Mr. Gu Xiangdong was unaware. It was forcibly transferred from his account, routed through Wan Jiqiang's account to launder, and ultimately injected into this shell company. But in the divorce asset declaration that year, the defendant cunningly concealed the existence of this company from the court.
Objection. This is a private loan dispute. Nothing to do with hiding assets.
A loan? If it was a loan, where is the loan agreement? Where are the mortgage papers? Where is the agreement on the loan interest?
And that's not all.
Your Honor, please look at the second piece of evidence. This is the fixed asset appraisal report for Yanmei Appliances Group, submitted by the defendant during the divorce case that year. It clearly states that the 3 core stores and warehouses under the group's name were valued at only 8 million at the time. And this one is from that same year, the same month, when defendant Wan Yanmei used those same assets to apply for a huge mortgage loan at the provincial capital's main bank. The bank issued this official asset appraisal report. Both reports appraised the same properties and land, but the bank valued them at a full 36 million. In other words, the asset values reported to the divorce court were deliberately understated by nearly 5-fold. Your Honor, the head of the firm that helped the defendant prepare that dual appraisal report back then, under pressure from the police investigation, has turned over all the original documents and is willing to testify in court.
Why? Your Honor. Given these major developments, we urgently request a recess.
Granted. Court is in recess for 15 minutes.
Attorney Qin Ming Yuan. I've heard about you. My client, Ms. Wan, agreed to settle. Name your terms. Everything negotiable.
No settlement.
Attorney Qin, don't burn all your bridges. Ms. Wan is sincere. She's willing to give Mr. Gu a private, a very generous compensation package. The amount will definitely satisfy you.
Go tell Wan Yanmei. The billions in shares Mr. Gu is owed are simply being returned to their rightful owner.
That's not compensation. She went too far back then. She thinks she can buy peace with money. Too late. See you in court. Your Honor, besides the property fraud, Mr. Gu, for the past 17 years, after leaving the marriage with nothing, he tried time and again to find work at appliance factories or take over small shops repairing appliances just to survive. But after an extremely thorough investigation, we found that over these 17 years, every time Mr. Gu got a job, he was fired. Every small business he started was forced to close. There was someone pulling the strings behind it all. We have obtained statements from the HR managers of 5 companies, as well as local business regulators. They clearly stated that they were pressured and threatened by Wan Yanmei, the appliance tycoon from the provincial capital, into cutting off every path Mr. Gu had.
Nonsense. This is slander. Gu Xiangdong is a loser himself. Why blame it on me?
Order in the courtroom. All relevant evidence in this case has been presented. This hearing is now concluded. The outcome will be announced later.
Miss Su, Mr. Gu, your thoughts on Wan Yanmei's
Performance in court today.
Do you feel confident about winning the case?
We have no comment. We're just waiting for the court's final ruling.
I spent over 10 years scraping by like a dog at the market. Countless nights, I asked myself, why had I, Gu Xiangdong, ended up like this? But it turns out, all along, she was crushing my head under her foot, never letting me catch my breath.
Dad, put on your eyes. They're swollen.
He.
Your dad's exhausted today. Keep him company and talk. Aunt Linshi has company business to handle.
Aunt Linshi. Was my birth mother a bad person?
He. You. How could you?
Yes. She was someone who'd do anything, a monster who'd sell anything.
Actually, I've known all along. Growing up, I watched Dad suffer. Dad is all I have.
15 days later.
Su Linchi, we won.
The first instance verdict is in.
It finds that defendant Won Yenmei, during the marriage, maliciously concealed and transferred huge amounts of marital assets, committing fraud, and recognizes her long-term bad faith business suppression. She's finished.
President Su, the court's ruling
Was extremely harsh.
it found Won Yenmei
Hid and transferred joint assets. It upheld our
claim of malicious business suppression
Won Yenmei was ordered
to pay Mr. Gu,
a property settlement.
plus asset appreciation, dividends, and punitive damages,
The total
is astronomical. Far beyond what we expected.
How much?
Not only cover Yi's college tuition,
it'd be enough for Mr. Shandong to never work again.
they'd live in luxury.
Go to the hotel now. I'll tell him myself.
Attorney Ming Yuan, how much did you say? That much?
Yes, Mr. Shandong. If they don't appeal the first ruling, it takes effect in 15 days and can be enforced immediately. You've finally made it through.
Dad. What is it? Won Yenmei again?
We won. All the good days Dad owed you, we've won them all back.
Ms. Linchi, the second trial ruling is in. The appeal was dismissed, and the original verdict upheld. And lawyer Ming Yuan said that idiot Won Yenmei panicked after losing the first trial. She actually tried to secretly move assets overseas through an underground bank. But attorney Qin Ming Yuan caught her red-handed. He teamed up with the police and had her arrested on the spot.
Just as expected. A vicious, selfish woman. How could she pay up willingly? The court is getting serious.
Not only did they freeze Yenmei Home Appliance Group's accounts, even her villas have all been sealed off. Won Yenmei is truly broke now.
No.
Dad, we got all the money back. Aren't you happy?
It's just that, all the youth and hardship of those 17 years. It suddenly feels so meaningless. I wasted half my life on a woman like her. Gu Xiang may seem strict and blunt, but deep down, she's truly honest and kind.
Out of all those old classmates who sucked up to the powerful back then, she was the only one who didn't go along with Won Yenmei.
Mr. Shandong, formal notice. The court enforced a case against Won Yenmei for concealing and transferring assets. All recoverable funds have been recovered and seized assets are being processed for auction. The first compensation payment will be deposited into your personal account this afternoon. Please check for it.
Gu Xiangdong, you haven't set up your stall in ages. I've watched your spot every day. So no one else would take it. Yeah, how'd you get here in a nice car?
Ms. Zhang, thank you for always watching my stall. All these years, whenever Won Yenmei sent people to wreck my stall, if you hadn't secretly shared your vegetables with us, Gui and I would have starved. I'm not selling braised food. Here's 20,000 yuan. When he couldn't afford tuition, you lent 3,000. Principal and interest are here. The rest is for you and my brother. A nice meal.
Why pay back 3,000? I lent it because I felt sorry for you. You didn't have to repay it. Take it back. Use it for e-schooling.
No, I can't. I've never taken free favors. If I owe someone, I'll pay it back even if I have to sell everything. Linchi,
Yeah. What is it?
I want to do something. I want to open a modern food processing plant. A proper large-scale production line. I want to use my Shandong family's ancestral craft to make authentic, clean, heritage-style braised delicacies.
Need land, a management team, or marketing channels? Linchi Group supports you 24/7.
You won't have to spend a dime. Su Linchi, this time, I'm using my own money to build an empire that belongs to me, Gu Xiangdong. Lao Li. Workshop drainage won't work. We make food here, especially aged brine. Wastewater is huge, and drainage is poor. The trench stinks. These pipes are too narrow, and the slope isn't enough. Water pool.
Director Shandong, if we widen the pipes and dig new trenches like you said, we'll go over budget.
Then I'll pay for it. In food business, sanitation is vital. This is one thing we can't cut corners on. Dig it up and redo it.
Ms. Linchi. Look.
About the added budget.
What Gu says is the rule. Money spent on quality isn't budget. It's an investment. Do exactly as Director Gu says. Change it now. You got it. Whatever you say.
This batch of meat isn't there. Look at the connective tissue, the sauce hasn't soaked in.
Director Gu, should we adjust the pressure gauge in the steaming room?
No, cutting corners. The flavor won't be pure. We have to use the old method. Simmer it longer over low heat, another hour and a half.
Director Gu, we can't do that. If we cook it for another hour, our daily output will drop by 20%. Several major supermarkets in the provincial capital are pushing us to stock their
Lao Zhang, if output's low, we can add more pots and hands. But if the heat is off, the flavor changes. This is a craft our Gu family has passed down for generations. What we sell is real ingredients and time-honored craftsmanship. Once this brand is ruined, I won't do it, regardless of pay. Do it my way. Extend the cooking time.
Dad, look. This is the third packaging design I made for our family brine. The design team Aunt Sue hired was too industrial. Had them change it to warmer tones. This way, on the supermarket's chilled shelves, it'll stand out from all those flashy factory-made packages. It'll make people feel the warmth of home.
It looks great. Really great. Just make Shandong family traditional recipe a little bigger, so people can spot it from far away. That's our signature.
No problem. Dad, drink your milk while it's hot and get some sleep. It's almost 1 in the morning. Your back can't handle sitting too long.
Okay. You go to bed first. I'll sleep after I finish checking these accounts.
Mr. Shandong, you started at Red Star Market. In 1 year, you turned your family heritage craft into a brand with hundreds of millions in annual revenue. What was the biggest turning point in life?
The biggest turning point was when an old classmate from 30 years ago came to my stall and bought a 35 yuan portion of thick-cut beef shank.
Was it Su Linchi, CEO of Su Oceanic Group?
36 years ago, I paid 30 yuan for her tuition and 300 for her mother's treatment. 36 years later, I got set up, left with nothing, and hit rock bottom. She had the best legal team in the province and stood before me like a goddess, helping me get back all the justice I deserved.
So, between you and Ms. Linchi,
what we have is, in this noisy, ordinary world, the kindest, purest desk, the most genuine desk mate.
Dad, the admission letter is here. I got into Zhongshan University, the best in the provincial capital, majoring in financial management. Aunt Linchi, wait, in 4 years, I'll help Dad. I'll make Shandong's traditional braised foods into a major publicly listed corporation.
That's the spirit. Then your dad will be chairman of Shandong Group, you'll be its sharp, decisive CEO, and Auntie can retire with pride.
No way. You have to be our lifelong chief advisor.
Shandong. Back then, I was blinded by greed. I wronged you.
Pan Hong, no need to apologize to me. You don't owe me anything. You only owe yourself the backbone to stand tall.
There's a Riverview apartment in the south side of town. 4 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, with security. You and Gui should move in. It'll be quieter there.
Su Lingqi, absolutely not. You helped me win and get justice. And you sent a team to help me build a factory and launch a brand. I could never repay these favors. If I take the luxury home too. Gu Xiaodong, a man who lives off women?
The house is in Yi's name. Yi is about to start college. A girl needs something solid to rely on when she's out in the world.
Dad, please accept it. Why keep pushing it back and forth with Aunt Sue? She's practically family.
The adults are talking. Why are you butting in like a child?
Xiangdong had a dream last night.
What did you dream about?
I dreamed we returned to Qingyan High School in 1985. You were a gentle, clean-cut heartthrob, wearing that white shirt, sitting right in front of me. And I was still that poor girl with straw tied around my pant legs. In the dream, the homeroom teacher asked everyone to stand up and share. I said, Su Lingqi is going to make lots of money someday. Become the biggest boss in the country. The whole class burst out laughing. They laughed at a country girl who couldn't afford tuition, dreaming big.
And then?
Then I woke up. Xiangdong, thank you. Thank you for not laughing at me with them back then. And thank you even more, for being there in darkest days. For not letting go of the hand that pulled me up.
Lingqi. I've spent most of my life climbing to the top. My ex-wife set me up too. I fell into the deepest pit. I've been through it all. The highs and the lows. But in my life, the greatest thing I've ever done, the thing I'm proudest of, was in the fall of 1985, at the registration desk of Qingyan High School.
Xiangdong. Do you remember? The night before the college entrance exam in 1985, when we studied on the grassy slope behind the school?
How could I forget? That night, you wrote politics essays while I memorized history dates. Those mountain mosquitoes bit us all over, leaving huge welts.
That night, I made a vow to the mountains. Do you remember what I said?
What did you say?
I said, Gu Xiangdong. When I, Su Lingqi, make something of myself and become the biggest boss in the country, I'll treat you to the most expensive, best meal in the world.
Then, Boss Su. That best meal in the world. Did you invite her?
Not yet. I've owed you for a full 36 years.
Then make it happen tonight.
It's too late tonight. All the restaurants are closed. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.